This is the voice of Salone or VOS social media, coming to you from the great state of North Carolina, USA. Mina Mohammed Shilon. I have a co-host by the name of Fadima Savage. She's not on at the moment, but she may be joining us uh, sooner or later. Those of on our way familiar with the show, thank you very much for tuning in and for your participation as usual. So when I all know the ground rules are you call. This is a live show, so people are free to. We will broadcast on Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, so you can watch the show on any of them medium then they. And then of course you can use your telephone, your computer, your laptop, as well as your iPad for access any of them medium than they or the show itself. Now, we know the rules. The rules are when you call, we get a 3.5 minute, we'll get a 3 minute, sorry, not 3.5, we'll get a 3 minute time slot for you for make your comments or ask questions. So if you think, say, it will take you longer than 3 minutes, I would suggest that you program and you get more than one question or long comment, you put them in a short version so you'll be able to get all your points across. But in case you're not able, you run out of time because we get a buzzer. When you 3 minute run, we'll give you 15 seconds for continue what you just said. Then the control room will cut you off. But when we do that, not because we're trying to be rude or disrespectful, it's just that at times we get people on hold. So for instance, if we give 3 minutes to every caller, if you are the fifth caller, for example, and we let the first caller, second caller, third caller, fourth caller talk without limitation, even if we base them on time itself, if you're the fifth caller, you go hold for 12 minutes before we reach you. Okay, just if you're number 5 in line. So if we make everybody talk without limitation, what's going to happen is that you and the fourth or fifth caller might have to wait 20, 25 minutes. And that's a very long time for holding a cell phone because you're not got no idea why we're not able to reach you. So now for that, we try to explain to everybody, please try your best for cut down the length of time where you want to talk or make comments or ask questions. But if you not get sufficient time, all you can do now for call back if you get the time at home or wherever you may be watching from, just call me back and then you will be in the queue to ask the other part or make the other statement where you want to make where you're able to reach. So with the action of cooperation. Then the other rule is simple. If you not get anything for contribute in terms of ideas, or even if in terms of disagreement in a respectful manner, please don't call because this is not a show we want for tolerate or promote disrespect. We want for be courteous and respectful to each other. So please, when I say each other, I mean to we the host, to other callers. So if somebody called before you, now call after and begin call a name or begin characterize in personality, just state your disagreement and tell us why. Because we all, as people, we all not get the same idea. So we try to educate each other. So at the end of the show, we'll probably will learn something from each other. So I thank you very much in advance for cooperating. Also, I know say we get certain numbers, but we always can put now the screen if you're watching at your phone or even if you're watching at the other medium, then why I show you why I explain to you now. Go see certain numbers. And I also could take the time for announcing numbers and then just in case somebody is listening, but another watch now in computer or in iPad or telephone. So we get certain numbers them. Let me start with the toll-free number this time. The toll-free number now 866-944-7722. 866-944-7722. If you call from the United Kingdom, now plus 44 20 80 89 1455 plus 44 20 80 89 1455. If you call from Australia, now plus 61 29 09 84 337. If you call from Australia, now plus 61 29 09 84 337. And of course, if you call on WhatsApp, now 1-343 997 5828. 1-343 997 5828. Also, of late, we can do a survey, or what we will call generally a pooling of people. Then we can post some certain questions on the screen and just for take a survey and get an idea of the percentage of people and we agree or disagree with which in the survey they ask. So people, please pay attention to that. And if you see them, if you don't mind, take the time for call back or sending you written answer. It does require yes or no, usually. And a certain government policies, then we can ask, I want to see them. Then we can frame the question. We does require a yes and a no. So if you sit down there, if you get the time, please just spend a few seconds to give us an answer so we can know how people can feel about certain issues. Okay? Well, today we'll get a few things that we want to talk about. And some of the things then, now simply things then we'll call trending issues, meaning current issues, things that will go on in Sierra Leone. One trending issue, now the mass burial of victims of the August 10th incident demonstration, August 10th of this year. People that will get killed. Police were killed, so were civilians. And then we see of late there's a mass burial of them people in there. And then we'll also see where the government take upon itself to give the bereaved families them some money. Okay, so we just want to touch on that, for ask people them how they feel and about the sufficiency of the amount of money the family then get, and if the government treats the family then right, and if the government refusal or what the government agree for give some of the people the body to the family, then we demand the body to them. Say we want for bury people, then government refuse. So what are a good government policy down there, and what's in a government in reason for doing that? And so we'll get some questions then for us, for us get people in view on that. Okay. Then we also talk about investigation about some airport fee, what they call arriving and departing fee of $25 was ordered suspended or investigated and suspended by the Speaker of the House. All of a sudden, they begin to charge people in $25, not leones now. Okay, they begin to charge people millions of leones, let's put it that way, or thousands of leones, I'm sorry. If you arrive at the airport or where you left to go out of Sierra Leone, and then send a tax, then an airport tax. Well, I think the Constitution called for any sort of taxation or taxation of that type there should be approved and authorized by Parliament. So it appears as if Parliament no approval, not even was aware of it. So there is some suspicion. So we'll go for talk about that and see why. Then there is a rise in the phone, the internet cost, telephone, um, um, cell phone cost in terms of transmitter, trying to call people, what you can call the megabyte, and so I think they raised it to 18 cents per megabyte. When a 1,000 gigabyte, 1,000 megabytes would make a gigabyte, where you need for even do them broadcasting and they or for do them telephone calls then they. So we'll get the video, we'll play on that. Then we'll go try for discuss that for see, and then say that the government, at the time where the government itself, they ask, say, or they say and they acknowledge, say, price they go up, things are getting more expensive. This time that the government itself, they ask the private company that will get a phone business for, they suggest to them, say, may they raise the price. And nobody seems to understand that past the government themselves. It would be good for just call and ask them for, let them explain to we why with all the thing else, the price to go up, why government feels say them for take upon themselves, for call private companies them and say, hey, when I raise the price, so we get your idea why government may have done that. So we could talk about that. If we not get any other idea, when I think about that, we'll try to tell we what you want to think, what you make government decide for do that. And we'll get a video, we'll talk about the type of the change in our educational system, what we actually need. Not to them fanciful stuff, then what the year changes are taking place, but improvements are not being seen, and quality keeps dropping. So there's a brief video by the Ghanaian Minister of Education where he got a very simple solution, which I agree with, about the overall system or idea for the being we educational structure, if we want for really be productive and be competitive with other countries in the world. So it talk about that. Then we also get for talk about, if we get chance, if we get that far, we want to talk about the use of illegal drugs in Australia and the effect way they get on people in the country. A lot of people, they get serious adverse effect or bad effect from then drugs them here. And we not get treatment facilities. Now, Sierra Leone for treat people, and mostly we know say, now poor people, with this kind of usage of illegal drugs or whatever substance within the use, we know that poor people they go affect. So we want to talk about that thing and they also, So that said, let we start. If we can get to that, we also want to just touch base with the American ambassador and the Inspector General of Police, then photograph it and take that, but only if we can get to that. So that said, I will start off with the mass burial situation, and I go ask the control room if they don't mind for let them play with.
I didn't understand that.
For let them play with the videos of the bereaved families being given a certain compensation for the death of the people. So we ask the control room for play with that, and then for showing pictures of some of the coffins them, and some of the implications when the government take upon itself to just bury people them. The government may be right, they may have some good reason, and some people they might call and tell we why, what they think say the government take that approach there, because definitely there are some people where not pleased with the government's burying their loved ones. I think there may also be some people that will not mind at all. But the one that will mind, will demand, and reject any kind of compensation, they just want the peace of mind for bury their young people. Then people and they will wonder why the government no agree for just give them the respect what they need for pay the last rate, and respect to the dead one. So we'll ask the control room for just play that for we.
In Sierra Leone have buried the bodies of dozens of civilians killed during protests which turned violent in opposition strongholds. It comes amid concerns by the bereaved families that 6 police officers who were killed in the same protests were laid to rest 2 weeks later at a ceremony presided over by the president. While the families had also been demanding the bodies of their loved ones be handed over to them for closure, but this did not happen. Umaru Fofana was at the central mortuary as the bodies were collected and taken to the cemetery for burial by the state.
This is my story. This is my song.
After a brief interfaith service, the 27 bodies were loaded onto waiting trucks and taken to a cemetery in Waterloo, just outside the capital. There were buses to convey the families to say their final goodbyes. But why did the government not hand the bodies over to the families to bury them themselves? Mohammed Rahman Suare is the Minister of Information.
It is actually a state-led burial. The families have been working with us through the process, from the identification of loved ones to post-mortem. We have had several meetings together, and this was where we agreed that it will be buried by the state.
But some have told me that they would rather they had been given the bodies for them to take them to their various areas of burial.
I could understand those sentiments coming from bereaved families. But in the end, government also had national security considerations to take into consideration. We have seen these issues around the world. People make martyrdom out of slain persons, particularly following incidents like those. And the Australian police has very fresh memories of a similar incident that went out of hand in Makeni. They don't want a recurrence of that.
And did he have to keep the bodies for more than 2 months to do this?
The bodies had to be kept because when incidents like this happen, you have to identify who the persons were. Even as at this point, some still went unidentified.
Almost 10 weeks on, the families are still inconsolable. Hajaratu Darami, mother of 16-year-old Fatmata Darami, said her daughter had gone out to look for her and was shot dead. Musa Papa Keita, elder brother of 38-year-old Zainab, said he was unhappy because his sister was a pious Muslim whom he said was killed illegally inside her house and was buried inappropriately.
It is a sad day. It is very, very sad and disheartening. I don't know how to express myself now because it is not easy for us. And it has been a while and they did not give us permission to bury our sister. The way the funeral rites was organized today did not go down well with me because we are Muslims. We only recite the Fatiha. We did not perform the other rites. I'm upset right now.
The state gave 20 million leons, about $1,200 to each of the bereaved families. But the family of Hassan Dumbuya, better known as Evangelist Samson, rejected the money. His elder brother Alusan Koroma told me why.
It's just a way of expressing our grievance towards the state that we are not happy with what they have done. We've endured the killing, but them seizing the corpse, no, that one is unacceptable.
Well, they say that they did this with the acquiescence of the bereaved family members.
No, not all the family members approved. We were there at the meeting and we disapproved.
What do you make of what the minister's reason is, namely security concern for not handing the bodies over to the families?
We don't accept that. It's not as a result of security concerns.
What do you think is the reason?
Possibly they might be viewing Evangelist Samson with a political lens. He is a political social media commentator. Evangelist Samson is well known for the APC party. Totally devastated because Evangelist Samson is a man of the family.
Dozens of people are still standing trial for the events of August 10th. Some have been convicted, and more are being picked up by the police for prosecution.
And that was Umaru Fofana reporting.
Our wickedness, bro. Wickedness. Why we cannot see the body? What's up? Who's can witch animal? Who's can witch animal? Who's can last government this, bro? Who's can wicked government this? We're not gonna make for God's sake close to the body now. No, when they can put inside. Who's kind of wickedness this? Who's kind of wickedness this, bro? Who's kind of wickedness this, bro?
The international community will fight for me. Will fight for me. Africans for justice.
So currently, viewers, we're in Connaught Hospital, Usai. As you see, everybody don't gather, and today
the presentation of the consolation pause was done at the conference room of the Ministry of Internal Affairs in Freetown, and government provided the sum of 20 million or leones each to the 27 bereaved families of the civilian victims who lost their lives in August 10 insurgents in some parts of the country. Minister of Internal Affairs David Pandanoa consoled the bereaved family, noting that government provided a consolation pause to them as a show of care and to sympathize with them. He said the government described the August 10th insurgents that saw the loss of lives as unfortunate. Minister Noah assured the bereaved family that government has decided to give the deceased a befitting burial. Minister of Social Welfare Bedun Desama Kamara joined her colleague minister to sympathize with the bereaved families of civilian victims who lost their lives in the August 10 insurgents and admonished them to be advising the children because the loss of lives was a big loss to the nation. She outrightly condemned hate speech and fake news, which she said are recipes to escalate violence. Family members said they appreciated the move by government to give a befitting burial to their loved ones, but they also said they would have been happy if government would have released the dead bodies to them for self-burial. They assured ministers that they would comply with the government decision to take full responsibility of the burial. According to the Minister of Internal Affairs, their remains are expected to be laid to rest on Monday with funeral service at the Connaught Hospital mortuary. But the ministers did not say the cemeteries where they will be laid to rest due to security reasons.
All right. Used for burying some of the people. And so when our opinion matter, the government give any reason, the government say, then do the, they refuse to give some of the bodies to the people them because they no want for make some, for add some political, but overtone to the killings. So they don't let people that make a martyr or political statement from the great side or the cemetery of the who said them people and get buried. So the government say, as a matter of public security, they make the decision, say they're not going to give certain bodies to the people them. Now, there are only two comments I get now, because government get the right and get the power for out of national concern and overall national security. Government get the power for make decisions for the public good. for protect the public from any outburst of violence. I don't get no problem with that. The thing I constantly say, number one, if certain families then demand the body of their loved ones, I not think say government forget the power for just out of sheer authority say, well, we're not going to give them the body anyway. Because we come from a deeply traditional society where respect for the dead is very, very much valued. We know that one day. And we know say, we get Christians, we get Muslims, and we know how they like for perform their religious ceremonies before people are buried. Okay, and there are certain recitation of certain verses of the Quran, mostly, where people can collect for recite for the dead. Of course, the Christians then get their own verses then too, where they can like for recite. So these dead people may not have had that last honor day. So now, here is my take on that, because, and the minister, I think Minister Noah, I mean, his speech to me was very appropriate. It was very conciliatory, you know. It wasn't made with any implied or expressed threat as to government's use of power in the future. I felt that was that was a nice tone of speech he gave, which I think not the appropriate way that one day. I think the other minister, the female minister, in own speech was good, but the other question number one I get for that, he talk about hate speech. That sometimes hate speech then can lead to then situation in the well. This is where I always go for the legal profession of the country. The government cannot determine, the executive branch of government cannot determine what hate speech is. Because what might be hate speech by someone, or you go perceive, or you go think in a hate speech to another person, it can be a simple expression of, of constitutional right of expression, or political disagreement. Now, the reason academic will get another arm of government that doesn't play its role with democracy, not go work. Like I keep giving example, if you get a motor car with 4 tires, 4 wheels, that motor car they not go run if we take one of the tires off. And if it run, it will be with great strain on the transmission and the engine. For that motor car to run smoothly, you get to make sure, say, not only you get 4 tires, 4 wheels, but the tires get adequate amount of air in them. We will put less strain on the transmission. With democracy, now the transmission, for make it run well, we get for make sure it runs on all cylinders or all the tires, then why to use the analogy. So when we want for begin talk about democracy, just voting alone is just one element of democracy. But it is not the most important in a democracy. Okay? Freedom of speech is very important. If you not allow people for talk freely within the guidelines of the law, that is a serious breach of the elements way for make democracy work. So now, I say all this, when some people still they encourage lawyers them back home, when I use the court system more, even if we don't get trust in it, but when I just can't throw in the towel and give up when I see things not going away. Okay, so when the minister talk about hate speech, I think he just used the phrase loosely, Because in your judgment, speech where you disagree with is considered a hate speech. But we in America, we know what's a hate speech. We get very serious people them. We threaten other races, where they threaten other people of other religion, where they threaten death to people then just because of the race where they belong to. We know serious hate speech when we see one. Okay? Now, let me also say the lines are open, so people are free to call throughout the duration of this show. So please call at any time, and we will be more than happy for address. I will be more than happy for stop in between. Once we do begin get callers them for address some issues or allow the callers them for express themselves. That said, let me stop at this point and let me take a call. Then I will proceed with my thoughts. Hello, caller. What's your name and who's the call from?
Okay. Good evening. Good evening from inside Mr. Shilon.
Yes, sir.
Listen, Mr. Bickerstead. They call from Athens.
Please repeat
Mr.
your name. I'm sorry. Okay,
Bickerstead.
Yeah. Okay. I get
it. I don't watch the video. I think my own take. I stand for be corrected. You know, we all get to be personal who they see things, but I mixed decision that one day. You know, it get a lot of good and bad. For let they hold the body them not correct. Not correct at all, because the people then get their own right for beg them people them the way they want for beg them. Not correct for all them. But notwithstanding, if you look back, taking into consideration how the thing happened, you know, then they look and back, say maybe they look and back, then go to advise if not give them people where them body them in their own locality, some uproar, some problem will happen, they will sometimes they not go for control. We go lead to something else. Then go don't think about that. It's not good for the whole, but maybe then go don't think about that. You know, and a lot of people have lost their lives them during that 10 day. And also for me not think say 20 million enough for let them give them people in there. 30 million at Salone at pittance. Now like we the buyers. Now small money that one they forgive people them where then get some man gets 2, 3 picking, 4 picking, waiting at 20 million. Now small money, you know. But anyway, now that the decision of the government, you know, they question them that they then get the seat, you know. But me they try for advice young one them. We get a lot of way for expressway, right? We get a lot of for expressway for with the satisfaction of that things when they happen. And that they try for talk to young ones when things they happen, we wait for the election time. If we are not pleased, take them out. We'll take them out through the ballot. Go cast to vote, and if you're not pleased, you take them out, put out for that you get for put on for. But for let we come on the street and let we lost with lives, and so now we they suffer, the young ones. Almost one politician in Peking they see died. None. And we they suffer. So would they plead to the young ones and for let them desist from some of them things, and they, because at the end of the day, the families them they Peking their way they don't left behind, they suffer. You know. I think so I go pause there first because a long discussion today, and I will coming back when the need arise. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bickerstead. We appreciate that. And I will take you comment on the advisement, but let me take one other call, hopefully, because I want just one for say 1 or 2 things about what you just said.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, caller. What's your name and who's the call? Yes, sir. What's your name?
Yeah, Mr. Shilan. Yeah, good evening, sir. This is Ahmed, they call from UK.
Okay, Ahmed. Thanks for calling.
Yes. Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your effort and the time we take and also analyze some of the issues there. and we'll say some people will land. Mr. Salone, we look at exactly what they happen our country, bad. Because some of we grow there as young men, when they come up, we know some of them issue there, ever happen. We can understand what happens in the world. Things are tough, things are hard. We see protests around the world. But I disagree with certain people say maybe young man then learn for Sidon, making no come on the street, making them way to the ballot box. No. You can come on out, you can protest. Like what you then do. Means you get for hire the authority for fire them, for kill them, bullets. Because all of them guys will die, so now bullets kill them. Some of them are hosts. If they see some of those don't hosts fire, then kill them. You all labor did it. Now bad precedents. Sometimes me, I believe in one thing. When something is wrong, it's wrong. There's no two way about it. Wrong will not get any other thing. Bad is bad. Anything we don't rot is rot. So if I'm your brother, wrong, you bad, you do things bad. I get me your brother way day na the army. Only na the army, I think almost to 20 something to 30 years. It's long time. He left the army long ago since we been there now the southeast way daddy grew up because I didn't daddy, then. But I can tell him, my friend, be careful. You don't rather than to intimidate somebody, use your power. I say avoid that, please. When something is wrong, we could not beat into politics. What is happening now? It's terrible. Then give you money just for satisfy, the body, for, bear you pursue love and all for months. And I can tell you, some of we get some of them suster. You see them body there. Now military people and carry the act, and now them bury some of them main guys that wouldn't know say against political link or whatever. We know. We get people that within the forces, within the police, top high class people them. It's terrible. We don't want for go so we come out again. These young guys, then get right. For make them shout, make them dance, make them protest, but there is a way for calm them down, talk to them. Not all with the bullets, not all for use gun. Would they see what they happen in other countries when they protest? We know say things and tough for everyone, every side. But we could not use them like people that they want for politicize them. This is sad. Me, I not get anybody where they kill, I not get any friend, but I feel, these are young guys. And if you look at them guys, you volunteer, all of them clear. These are age of 20 something, early, some of them less than 30. Even this are invalid, some is about 36 years old. These are young guys. These are young people. And these are the people that the president will promise. Will be doing campaign. These are the people that will promise. Them people that will die, so not to their own opposition. Some of them maybe not even the ruling party and they support. It's sad, So what they say, because we're not in the law, you sabi, what the law states. So for that kind of thing there, we're not going to go back to the issues there. So people that will fall culprits of this act, will go for taking them to tax. Me, I think government change, no matter how long it takes, more could take for getting rid of bad people them. Make them say no repeat again. Because we see the people.
All right. I think Mr. Ahmed run out of time. So the boss had to go off and then get the extra time. So Mr. Ahmed, if you still listen, and besides you line, if they get problem with your line, because you can go off sometimes and come back on, but we're not seeing that will happen. But so this last time, I think that the control room give you extra time and decide for cut you off. But please feel free for call back because you talk something very sensible, and we need for listen to you. We need for whatever sentiment, feelings we do express. We don't say there are hundreds of thousands of Salonians, then we feel that same way there. So what you to say, you are speaking for a lot of people. And so then Mr. Bickerstead, who called before Ahmed, he also says certain things, and I give him a lot of credit because that's what you call balanced thinking. I agree with the government in terms of the government seizing somebody's them and now give to the families them for burial. But he also tend to agree with the government in terms of the national security aspect of turning the body them over. And then your calculation, under the government, then things say society could be better served if the bodies are not turned over to the respective families then. But then again, Mr. Ahmed raised the point of how does the government justify not giving the body to someone who was sitting in his home or her home and get shot from outside, right inside your house and get killed? How can government justify that seizing of that person in body? So, and if someone was not involved in a riot, but was just simply demonstrating, or like there's another person at the piece, the clip, where say this woman was going to look, maybe to go out to go look for his sister when she ended up in that accident, that killing day. So the indication by that statement was that this person not even was involved in the demonstration. It's just unfortunate she got killed. If the facts are clear, if the government take time and try for verify that statement today, he had for justify not giving the person a body to impeople them. And then there's another aspect of certain people who clearly we know, without a doubt, that they were targeted for political purpose. One person, such person is this evangelist Samson, when they talk about all what would area and for certain here, not because we try to condemn the government. I don't got no problem with the government making the decision. They make their own calculation, then say nah. Then for prevent demonstration, then we take a possession of the body. But government also, and this is where the opposition should be even more responsible. If the evidence is clear or is ample that person like evangelist Samson was not engaged in any kind of demonstration or protest, even if he was, that could have been an exercise of his right. But if the evidence show as well the area from other sources for say he was with some friends drinking until some military truck come looking for him particularly, and then they run away when he was shot first in the leg, and when he fell down, then go then summarily assault him and execute him. If not the evidence that one day, the implication there is terrible, because you cannot just eliminate, because I will not forget, say, SFPP get a own group of similar people, okay? So you don't want, if any other party kind of power, for begin targeting people in there. People who believe, say, an eye for an eye. People who believe, say, would I demonstrate? There are certain people in the SFPP side that I want to name for trying to be fair. But when they believe, say, anybody who demonstrates should be shot on sight. But what are we going to justify if another government come for do that to these people? No, we shouldn't. That shouldn't be the case. That's why we have laws. That's why we have court. And my point earlier was simply the fact that the court, I will give this example of 4-wheel on a car, then if the car had 3 wheels, no more they walk, how the car not go run. If we really seriously want to democracy for run, and I keep saying this over and over, because I know the motivation about there were politicians there. Over 95 or more % of them not get a clue of what government is all about. Over 95% of them not get a clue of how to run government. Now power no more they are after. And when they get this power, now they are not trying to figure out policies, how to run. It's just like somebody will want to go hijack a motor car, sabi drive, but there is some benefit in hijacking a motor car because you can go sell them and make money. But once you attack the person way, get the motor car, you pull and accommodate, then you try to move the car. Next thing you know, you go hit the car or bank somebody with them. This is the thing. We get a lot of people who aren't going to government. But we know we are not that stupid. The vast majority of these guys are motivated by self-interest. Now, personal enrichment, now money, now then goal. Now the quickest way to make money in a salon. You see? Otherwise, first of all, Salone is not big enough for entertain. We get ideas, and we feel say the only way for implement the ideas that we'll get for going to politics. Salone is not big enough, for entertain all of that. And why should we be so single-minded in the sense that the only way we think say for Apple country and for going to politics? Okay, so I get more commentaries for make, but I want to make sure say I getting as many people, because once we start talking, some people will call and they're on the line, they don't get the opportunity. So let me stop right here. I go hold my thought and let I take another call. Hello, caller. What's your name and who's you to call from?
Good evening, Mr. Shilon. This is Zainab, but they call from England.
Thank you, Ms.
How are you, sir?
Fine, ma. I hope you are doing okay.
I do okay, but not that good. Because of the waiting they go now with country, and they go down well with we at all. They go down well with we.
Okay, tell me what
because for me, I don't know what in the civil society then they do in that country there. Now they are blame because then we're there for the masses, then we're there for the talk for the people them. Then they talk, all man they afraid for talk. All man they afraid for talk. How governments go there so? How governments go there like how they so? Because they all don't join on the government. It's like say na soldier government now we get now. What in the civil society then they do? Then they kill people them, and then people then they all went and kill. Why they not give the body? Because now life bullets now kill all them people and they. The one that says we not even dip on the demonstration. Where then kill. Why they not give them the body? Why they not give them the body? Why they not give them the body, Mr. Shilon? This thing where they happen at this country not good. The other times, somebody talk to they talk say where SLPP, where APC be then a power now the same thing. Now the same thing. But why they not put them to stop? Why they not put them to stop? Now when they want to answer them come, they don't can do the worst. But before we not be they see all this, because the social media not be exposed the kind they expose now so. We not be they hear all this. Because the social media not be they expose the kind they expose now so. How we don't advance the kind don't advance so. Huh? Now we they see and everything, every little thing, even the small pickies of where the primary school now get phone. Anything where they happen, they don't put, they don't take a picture, they don't snap and they don't waiting, they don't send on a social media. We they see everything waiting they happen. If them people they are so they don't go kill the cow, they don't go kill them so. You can imagine 2 months. You feel say na ice they put them. You not put them na ice. You not say yes the body they all they don't rotting. They don't get all that facility there. They don't get all that facility there for take care of them body then they. Then they deprive the people them, kill the people them psychologically. Huh? How long this go stop? You feel safe the next government come, they say no go retaliate. They say no go retaliate. Then who say they head to? Now who say they heading for, Mr. Shilon? Who say they heading for? This is painful. When you see how people and they cry like how they cry so. What in 20 million they do? When not even reach $1,000. What in 20 million they do? When picking maybe sometimes if before can be a lawyer, before can be a minister, or before can be a president. Then they go kill them for you for nothing, then are you host. Then the worst thing back then take the body then and go bury them as pauper. Eh, Mr. Shilon, this thing where they happen in this country, not good though. It's not good. How long now? Waiting. I don't know who said we the heading for now. Huh? Look this evangelist Samson where they go kill so. Why they go kill him for? Now for waiting. What first side will be the talk all kind talk they do? They condemn this APC government. What in them do them? One day they not go after them. Now then they also then they interview na AYV. Where they ask and say, you don't one day, they don't one day ask you, they don't one day all you. He said no. They say why? He said because he they do the right thing. They do the right thing. Mr. Sheila, they do the right thing. Now what's in the happen at the country? Now in the show on social media.
Well, I'm not sure if Ms. Zainab get disconnected or whether I don't say everything I get for say, but I want for feel saying line disconnected. So Ms. Zainab, if you are on, well, that's what make you know what can happen. And if you not be finished what you get for say, if you can keep on within 3 minutes, you can call back. Okay? But thank you so much for calling. And we respect and thank you for the sentiments we do express. But here is my take. And I always start with a simple proposition that running a government is not an easy thing. It's heavy lifting. All them bookmaya where they rushed to the thing there, now fellow them we one do not get the slightest clue of running a government. Number one. Two, their sole motivation now for help themselves. I watched an interview today of President Biden where Jonathan Capehart, the interviewer. And when I can go on Google and check that. President Biden say, you not get no business in government if you purpose not to for help uplift the people. And that's what I've always believed in. That government for be one sole motivation. One motivation, nothing else. Now, because you think, say, you can change lives for the better. But with the same every day, not to people in motivation and there. When I stop for look at this political party, and me just say that over and over, maybe I should continue to say it. SAPP, APC, they are one and the same. If you're not able to believe that, you know I rise above that, then you know really understand Sierra Leone politics or the narrow-mindedness of people and way they go into politics. And then they come up with sound ideas. When they come in, then that's the take off who's at the other side left off. If not corruption, then expand and amplify the corruption. The party label no matter. This is the reason why President Bio, they get difficulty because when he was on the outside, the other side wasn't doing right. But when you go there, you see the enormity, one of the problem of running a government, because it was much easier when he was a military man, because now everything about decree, you not get for contend with opposition. But when you use the word democracy, it take a lot of brain power. You get for hire people and you team way, know waiting for do way for come up with sound policies. And then policy, then they're not to science, they're not exact. Some of the policies that we will implement may not come out or not get the desired results. So I make you for look for the best and the brightest. Not to the one that will get big degree in a wall. Now that piece of paper, that degree then just paper. Now watching the command of the person in head, where they affect lives, now it matter. Not to would for they can begin telling now, oh, this man will be first class honors, will be second class honors, will be this, will be that. All that don't mean much. You know? What really matters is the taste of the pudding. And that is, with all our first class honors, show we what you can do, how you go affect lives for the better. If you cannot show us what you can do, American man say, that your diploma there is not even what the paper is written on. And we know, say, a bunch of people, when they're in a policy making position, then diploma know what the paper were written on. So I make advocate consistently. Don't fool yourselves. If you're not pro APC, if you're not pro SFPP, you still haven't gotten it. You still not get them. I keep reminding people that I was one of those teenage activists in high school in Bo. So sometimes when people and they say, oh, they're not getting no business for demonstrate, I never engaged in demonstration, but I was very politically active. I was pro APC in the 60s. In high school, I lied to my papa, I want to go home because I just want to go. I don't miss any APC meeting in Bo one day. I know, I mean, who were the young ones then? We were enthusiastic because we get these ideals. We want with fascination and impression for the Dr. Fona, for the Ibrahim Taki, for the Siri Fore. Those were our guys. And I keep reminding people, the much younger one them, and even the one that were in politics today, me your age, but they not be in politics then, would not be to keep up with the trend. We see the independence, and every time we talk about the 1991 Constitution, we need to go beyond that. Let's talk about the Constitution where we get all kind of power. We provide for a Prime Minister and a Governor General. Where one man, Shaka Probim Stevens, decides, say, for any unselfish reason, he go flip and come up with what you call the Republican Constitution. I say this for make me case, as I always say, about APC and SFPP. You know, we get for begin walk away from them two parties here because there is no leadership. They don't have any. And I get very passionate about that because we need to understand that. Don't forget, say, a country deserves the government it gets. So if we refuse to accept that reality today, and we want for full self say APC could be a better party for rule Salone, SFPP could be a better party for rule Salone, when then two political parties, now the two parties that will rule Salone in 61 years, and we haven't seen anything, well, we can continue for full self and begin hope against hope. But we get the ability for change cause. We get the ability. If married go switch, now the bachelor's if you go know. If we go get good leaders, now how then they talk, now how do they express their vision for the country, how then they treat the poor, now we will begin to understand. When people are begin come, when you get a government who are more interested in getting a seat on the National Security Council, now the UN, and the Security Council, now the UN, than for build housing for people who live in a breach, people who live in a pan body. It's not a good leadership nowadays. And this has nothing to do with the current president. It's just the way we would think. When we get a leader, we begin to see the rot where they take place on our foot and try to amend that and improve lives. Then in Mende, we will say, Kaigo Oma. Thank God. And I just use Mende, me not to Mende, me not Creole boy. Because I want to let me Mende brother they understand. For say, some of we love that country there deeply. And so we look at the country holistically. We not try to give one tribe advantage over any, because any such equation will lead to wrong ideas and consequence. We want somebody who will treat everybody fairly. We think, say, we are all equal in the eyes of God. We think, say, one tribe not forget dominance over another tribe unduly. If we not compete equally, we not get the dominance, so be it. But there is a lot wrong with we too, with the Sierra Leoneans them. We not get analytical thinking. And I go confirm that one day, I'll get a video where I go play with the Ghanaian Minister of Education. They criticize the educational system in Ghana, when at the same thing we get in Sierra Leone. No critical thinking in our educational process. We just cram. Make 100, then they say clever. No, you're not. Creativity, na clever. Make a whole again. Make I take some calls, because the calls are not begin to accumulate. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where side you call from?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Shilon.
Yes, sir.
Again, sir.
Okay,
I don't listen all what you just say, and you did right on point. Sierra Leone, them two parties, they always don't they kill we. They always don't they kill we. And at the debate small from Sierra Leone, the diaspora, most of the one that the whole Salone, they come out from the diaspora. 70%. As soon as government change, then they get invitees and they invite people there from diaspora for who rule the country, for who take over power. And a lot of problem they cause by we they come out overseas go town. Imagine, I get evidence them of people that we don't do overseas. They don't get one town lot set in a Salone. But as soon as they take power, in months, they get mansions. So waiting they don't do for Salone. Then just like how you say, now for themselves. So that make when I bring the point, I say me no go advise people for demonstrate. Because who that you demonstrate for? Who that you demonstrate for? When is there, you know one nobody you change the number. Who that you demonstrate for? You see, now that me they talk, now that critical thinking where you talk, but me they think. Who that you demonstrate for? When is there, I like at the same street. You know this here. So why do I have to go out and demonstrate and kill myself and suffer me people where they left again? Why? So I'm not going out. When the time reach, I take me paper, I go put outside, I want put them and can't sit down. You see, then they kill me. We can't, where would they overseas? So we can't the worker, we eat chingom, charm chingom and to go the paper on the street. We know they do it. But when we go Salone, we come out, go Salone, we they do it. We don't love we country, we don't like we country, we don't like we people them. We the left with country, we can't spend money. Then when they give me power, we go now the worst we they go do. We they talk about the people the way they talk. We talk about education, but we don't come out with all land book, we don't know things, we they do the worst way we go to. So all they come back is like square pegs and round holes. Everything they come back to me. Until we don't come out, don't be exposed, don't see things, don't see buildings, don't see a lot of things. We go down or begin to do thing before me they go on. You get small thing, empower your community. Do guys that we know they do nothing, empower them. Then you go find for we. But now when they get power no more, they can't empower people, say that they empower people, now use them to use people. So that's why I'm not going out for demonstrate for anybody. Because when I'm dead, I'm a picking and my family they suffer. Now that way they immediately look at things. Because they are the same people. Nothing is changed, nothing not change for by that. You don't see life past me. You don't live before me. You know it how they talk. So nothing has changed. They are the same people. And until system be established in that country, we are not moving anywhere. We are not moving anywhere. So I pause here for now, sir. Still there with the program. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Biggerstead. Thanks for calling.
Yes.
And I am very much in favor of what you say, because at some point when the second caller, Mr. Ahmed from UK, called, and he said, you know, I agree with you about you the one people from demonstrating. I almost want to agree with him, but then you hit it right on the point about critical thinking. And I like the way you phrase them, because you phrase them, you say, not to the right to demonstrate you there against, or the freedom of demonstrating, but who are you demonstrating for? Where the person that we demonstrate for, they're just as bad as the person that we demonstrate against. And they are indistinguishable in the sense that they are just one and the same. They are two sides of the same coin. So your point is, who are you to demonstrate for? You know what you like, that person that we demonstrate for. You know? And at the thing that they would have to tell people, times are hard now. Yeah, you demonstrate against BO, but I've always asked one question what people can feel disappointed at. And that is, I mean, by no stretch of the imagination am I saying everything is rosy, everything is fine. I get a million criticism of President BO. But now the APC, please point out to me what I want to know we could do better than he's doing. Because they all get the propensity for do worse than the other leader. It's my point. They're not going to come there and make our lives better. And I mean, you're concerned around it. Those are the only things for me to talk about. You know? And like me APC bona fide can never be questioned because I can challenge anybody. So I don't dislike APC, but I've seen the disappointments they've brought to the country. I've seen waiting our money when I be $1 Leone to $1 under APC, how things go bad. I have seen, okay, some people are going to say, I to talk about APC, not to APC in power. But that's ridiculous. Because when you talk, you get to use references. Okay? So we have to, well, we always have to point to the past to guide we to the future. If we ignore the past, we will always keep repeating the same problem. Yeah, President BO, I think in team of cabinet members, I'm not impressed. If I were to grade them, I probably would give them a D-, close to an F. I don't have any of these guys who are impressed by. The person who impressed me somehow is try. This Minister of Information is trying, but if you're not careful, it compromises integrity. Because there are certain things that are indefensible, where you can try for defend. You know? So the critical thinking aspect about, well, you know, things say what's going out there for do, I agree. I very much agree in the sense that we have to start thinking. You're not going to vote for APC, you're not going to vote for SAPP. There are other political parties. Your vote will be better cast if you do just that. So these are some of the things that we need to talk about. Where if we care about our country, if we want our country to prosper, if we wish our country well, if we want to make a good foundation for the upcoming generation, we get to accept reality. You know, we get for. But in we lifetime, when I go tell me again, when political power changes hands, maybe land with the other big party, when I go see, just give them 2-3 months. Then go begin bills. Then go begin get 20 girlfriends. Then go begin wheel and deal. That's the motivation. So when that begin to happen, not for begin to cry the blues as we do now, because these things are foreseeable. You can see saying that, then go do it. It's just like somebody driving a car 120 miles an hour. It's foreseeable and reasonable to expect that person will crash. And when he crash, he'll be extremely lucky to survive the accident. So when we see with leaders in lifestyle, guys who are very poor, waiting a year, who may or may not have accomplished that much for themselves all the years they've been here. But why you think say they not go do anything in the better parts will begin billows, you know, and then corrupt the system, you know, modify or erase the laws them. They will begin get all their mudslide, their flooding here over the scene of the country, and no one is doing anything about it. We always have to depend on the European Union, on the UN, on the IMF, for tell we waiting for do, for tell we say we got it and they overflow, for tell we say we street and overflow. I mean, to me, that goes beyond recklessness. That's cruelty. We just don't give a damn. You know, they want to empower. So, and I'm saying this for my brother and sisters, them, and we see that, in fact, the most disappointing partner, the one that with America and overseas. The APC supporters them and the SLPP supporters them. It's beyond me. I just can't seem to get it. What are they supporting? Continued destruction of the country? They can't see it? Can't they see that these leaders are not doing anything? They're destroying the country? Well, I may not see anything so difficult about that. And why you want to support somebody where you know they do wrong just for simplistic reasons such as we come out of the same area, we go to the same school, you know, we belong to the same tribe. To me, that's not only selfish, that's wicked, you, the supporter, because you not even think in terms of the sufferings where unborn children will go through because of destroying the current or the existing situation at the time, at this time. So where you so devoid of that conscience that you not even think about picking a one not born yet, I can't categorize you any other way that you're not a cruel person. You just not care. And all this, what will be young, who can, Mama can say, how, like where dog want to eat, and can get excited. And all this how for this money. Forget the religious aspect of, you know, the check and go inside. But, you know, a lot of these guys end up having stroke, end up getting seriously sick, you know, and then eventually they not enjoy much of them at all. You know, so wouldn't you be more in tune with yourself and better off if you can just try your best for do something for humanity, for mankind, not take this power of government, which is very, very enormous, a big power, and turn them into your own personal use, and begin promoting competent people then to powerful positions, where you know say could do nothing but hurt or harm the country. You know, if you take a boss, you get into the motor apprentice, you shouldn't be surprised if you go if that boss there somewhere. Now, the reason I made them establish licensing for qualify for driver bus, then say go get license. Okay, so we have even made politicians out of good people who came. We get some ministers in Sierra Leone who had never had any connection with politics, never. They were just intellectuals. Now they've been compromised into this political mentality. And despite the big degrees we would get at the wall, their ability for objectively and clearly think has been compromised by them being put into this corrupt political affiliation. All right, I get quite a few callers. So I don't want to dominate the time because we want to get 2 hours for the show. So, hello caller, what's your name and where you call from?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Salone. Thanks once again. This is Ahmed again.
Okay, Ahmed.
I just want to pick the point from which you stop. Anyway, like what you say, I want to agree with you with that analysis. When you look at this present government, and you look at the guys in the government, they have no idea how to govern. I want to respect you for that point. For me as well as a young guy sitting here, I'm so afraid as well. Because if you look at them within the circle of all the ministerial positions they hold, because some of these guys, they were here in London. Now we all the pass, we know the walkway. Imagine them go kill a ministerial position that you have no idea about. Regardless of your education, what you get anyway. If you feel say you're able to do well, this is not the thing. Mr. Salone, you as a professional, somebody now, you're getting curious. Leaving me, if they police is somewhere and you hold the position, you know how irresponsible you are and how you go with this thing. But this guy, they sell their integrity. And they only bank on corrupt way of living. It's like for me, when I was in school, and when I do, it's like you get a master's degree or a bachelor degree. We get guys that will get bachelor degrees. But when we didn't at school, like me, do a teacher certificate. Before I go to do a degree course and I do a diploma in education. So you see, it's different from that person who gets a bachelor degree and have nothing about education. He cannot teach well. You understand the subjects matter. But do you know the methods? Do you know all of the concept of teaching? Because that's a different thing altogether. So now this today now, like I agree with you that point. If you take somebody like Madam, you give him a position for home government, somebody who never been into politics, you know, for the politics from the military, and then you go away from the. So you just imagine that we make a very big mistake. We understand the other past leaders, they are corrupt, they're not good at all. But for me, actually, I prefer somebody else within that party who get some knowledge, who get some responsibility, who knows some system. Now, in the Hamburg, this government today, where you see they're all on compromise. You know, they're afraid to realize the population they deal with, a young population. When they be doing that, why don't we come back in the Congress and start begin to teach? These are young guys who they pull now, bush. We are of the same age, we they teach them at class, whether they do with teaching practice. These are the guys in today. You know, the young boys. And some of them, they just come on the idea of them, they below age, whether they try for mobilization, they bring them come back where you are. Some of who they wish you as ambassador of peace because they want to measure with age and look them for make them try for break their away from that kind of killing style, for make them come do learn something. Say, look on our company, how they don't progress now. Then they call me, they see you as a young guy, as a teacher, they admire something. When they come to my, I then got a deal seriously. They don't understand that. You know, Chijankaba tried very well after the war, and they keep touching like that. But now look who's not with them. This guy's like, you know, nothing because some of them they don't know away that they come for long, they get abroad and then go back. And what they do now for take money? What they happen today? Bringing policies over the work for the youth. Now problem, now disaster, then they lead to all of these things. Thank you very much. Anyway, my time done. I want to agree with you, and I want to handle that analysis way make. I respect that. That's the truth. These guys know nothing about governance. So this is why they bent on crook and then steal. Then they suppress people.
Thank you so much, Ahmed. Thank you. Let me go to the next caller. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where side to call from? Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where side to call from? Hello, caller.
Yes, Mr. Salone.
Yes, sir. What's your name? Where side to call from?
Yeah, this is Mike. I call from Philadelphia.
Hello, Mike. I think,
yes.
Nice hearing from you again.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. But Mr. Shillon, I want to ask you a question, right?
Yes, sir.
If they put you ahead of a country, like they put you as a president, they say, Mr. Shillon, pick a team that will make you successful. You go pick people like Abbas Bundu, people like Alpha Khan, people like Chief Minister, Minister of Finance. You go pick the type of people, and if you want success, if you want to succeed in what you do.
Now, but let me answer that question very quickly. If I want to be diplomatic, I go around it. But knowing what I know about them people which just suggest, my answer will be no, I will not.
All right. But that the reason that you make President Bio the team where he pick, because the team where he pick, he help her for fail, because he a complete failure as well. I mean, if you're not a failure, you know they go pick team where will make you fail. I don't think they understand the gravity of being a president. The man get everything, the whole of the country na plate. And yeah, the whole country na plate, na gold plate. Where we say, so we don't shut down even the whole APC. Oh, I think I went off. Hello?
No, you're on. You're on.
Oh, okay. But the problem is, instead of me focus on the country and developing the country, he focus now completely the opposite. They come bank governor. Instead of me focus on developing the economy, they can destroy the economy. You understand it? Then they teach everything in the country. But how you expect the country to grow when you know they bring on nothing, you just the teeth go? And the continuous killing of young people there. And turn around call them terrorists. You know, President below me, I just wish let go. No? I don't care who the else come. Anybody will come will be a better president than President Bio. I don't see the President Bio a better candidate for Salone. I don't see that one there at all. You know, I don't hold up the line, but I wish I let just if he don't resign right now, he go fight for the people in that country. And I'm your contribution on this.
Okay, thank you so much, Mike. And nice hearing from you again. Let's go to the next caller. Hello, caller. What's your name? And which side you call from? Hello, caller. Caller. What's your name and which side you call from? All right. While caller then get difficulty, or the caller get difficulty, let me just proceed with some of the comments, answered analysis. But in fact, well, we not even able to exhaust this mass burial. And like we say, we not try for condemn the government then do what anything say. But people are very upset about it. But as in matter of national security policy, and people say it will be wise. And I don't want for disagree with that totally. For take charge of burying some of the people. The only part that is just not quite right is because some of these killings were deliberate, were targeted killings, and were political killings. Particularly like that of this evangelist Samson. It was clearly a targeted killing. It was political in nature, and it's dangerous. Because like I said just now, SAPP get any young kinds of guys like that, who they out there, where they speak out. They're not going to want that to happen to them if there's a change of government. We have to be careful. And I've always advocated that every government we come, we need to be able for improve institutions, make them stronger, not for destroy them. With the destroy with system, it will only work for we at the moment where they empower. But it set a bad foundation for incoming generation, up and coming generations. This is not the problem. So where would, for example, we politicize the army? In a civilian government, why are we getting army man them for go chase down political opponents them. Because what you we know, then say Evangelist Samson was killed by the police, by the army. The army not got nothing to do with this. The demonstration of August 10. The army should have had nothing to do with it. Soldiers would have never been instructed for go hunt down people when property and lives were not being threatened. But this is what happened. Now this we wish the country, is that what we want? I so want the country for be run. And the other thing people need for stop making comparison of, because a bad example one day, we say, oh, APC be doing. But if APC be doing, if be wrong, and for condemn them, what makes us think we for come and do the same thing only for say, well, the other side be doing? But isn't that one of the reasons why the other side lost the election? Because of some of the things they wouldn't to do, we would not like. So ordinary supporters, some people are in the support because some people don't understand the essence of nationalism. They think, because you hear a lot of we. When SFP became a power, where APC lost, some people say, now we then a power now. But I always ask them this question, who are we? Who is we? Or who are we? You know? Now we, so where we as SFP kind of power will not for try for judge based upon merit, what they do, will for just based on the fact that now we don't party the rule, it no matter how they rule, and then we expect better results. I know that kind of thinking, they just, putting it mildly, is kind of confusing to me. Because if me and brother, now president, it do things then where no say, not right for the country. I cannot take pride in saying, because me a direct beneficiary of watching it go on, that for saying my brother not to do wrong. You know? So, but people are able to make that distinction, they say now, some people they say, well, this party, now one tri-party. You know, the president now be my schoolmate. The president now the same tribe we belong to. All of those things, like I keep pointing out things, and this again are for the good of the country. It has nothing to do with me personally or people personally or SFPP. If somebody can show me, for say, when APC was in power, the lives of Northerners was more improved and better than other people in the rest of the country, show me the evidence. Because that wasn't the case. It never happened. If APC was bad for the country, it was bad for the whole country. There were, people in the northern province were suffering. Anybody in Bombalit, Tonkolili, Cambia, Putloko, Konadugu, they were suffering just as much as people in the south. This is the talk about where APC in the power. One geographic area no get any economic advantage over the other one in terms of higher cost, higher standard of living. We are seeing the same thing now with SFPP. I don't know why people do not look at facts. Kalaun district, Bo district, Pujaun district, Kono district, you know, Moyamba district. Are their lives, because na SFPP the rule, because na Minde man in the power, are the lives of Mindes, their standard of living any better than people in the north? No. Because the economic policy whatever they can't wait, not to for benefit Minde or Timini, not to for benefit the north or the south. Now for benefit the handful of friends and relatives, and at times foreign investors, then where one come for corrupt the system. Because when they know, say you get for bribe with people them. So now they intention and then they can't forget undue advantage. But show me the evidence that even under the current government, and I stand corrected, I've always said this is a matter of ideas. Show me statistical evidence that the average Joe Blow in a Kalaun district The average Joe Blow na Bo district. The average Joe Blow na Pujeon district. The average Joe Blow na Bont district to say President Bio Komot. In standard of living better, because I mean they man they run the country than other people. No way. Guys, wisen up. Shed away this tribal nonsense. And let us concentrate on substance. And let us be willing to tell the truth. When you get appointments to key areas, or for make improvement in the country, being led by incompetent people, people whom the government knows very well are not qualified for head their ministries in there. Either will not care, because the country not to the primary beneficiary that they will have in mind, or will they deliberately do that because they're not going to get sense enough for resign. When have you guys ever heard of anybody resigning in the government? You know, the last time there was a popular resignation by an individual was a man called Desmond Luke, one of a prominent lawyer in Australia, Leone, Shaka Stephen kind of power, and make him a foreign minister. Desmond Luke and Shaka Stephen did not say eye to eye. He resigned because integrity matter. There are two English words with all with PhD people in, with all the professors of the bank, professors for the foreign service, all this name about press secretary with all them big degrees here. Two things they don't know, they may have never heard of. Integrity and resignation. Now, are two English words and they don't know. I don't think they don't ever see them. I don't even think they know how to define them. Integrity and resignation. Because if they do, this government, APC, we should have seen a lot of it. We should have seen a lot of resignation. Because these leaders come in, they get it totally different. I mean, I can always cite Pashaki. In Kami, turn the country upside down and kill some of your opponents, your supporters, them, your key party members, them, end up executing them. This now with history, we need to voice them out. We need to voice that out. Let people know when they take policy disagreement with them, they felt the best way for get rid of them. Now for hit them with treason charge and get them all executed. That now with history. You know? So this killing, what we talk about, so it needs to stop. Both parties are guilty of it. Now, if we want to analyze the precedents of the Union, President Kaba, nobody can say he tried his best. He had the best of intention to make that country a progressive country. You know? President Kaba was SPP. So the party, not to the thing, when I begin to learn for the integrity of the person where they aspire to that position there. Now when I begin to think of and look at, I don't agree with the one that way they say, oh, anybody go better past President Bill. That is not true. That is not true. If we think that way, if when I just want to let the man fail, let the man come on a power, then make we get a constitution, pull on the right way by elections. But even if we not pull on that way, if we not look for who that will replace him, we're going to cry the blues again as we do right now, because we look like we are now the current situation that we care for. We not get respect for the past, and we're blind towards the future. And me tell when I say we for begin for look for good leaders, people that will get leadership capability, and the person in tribe not for matter. Now watching the command of that person they much, now they goes the way they aspire. And for me, one of the best tests for begin for determine whether somebody could be a good leader. Now a person with kind of power, before even kind of power, he's concerned about the poor. The man will live in a pan body. The man will live under a bridge. The man will sleep in a market. When we get a president who begin for talk about them people and they about their well-being and take them for say themselves now human beings like we, but for the grace of God, we'll be for them in position, and in a we in position. So we will no any better have been more fortunate. Now we for speak for them. Now we for be our brothers and sisters keeper. So these are some of the things them in the tribe for live with brother and sister. Then we're so hung up on party politics. And for the young ones, them, I want to talk about young ones. If you're below 50, if you're 50 and below, you don't know much about Salone politics. I'm telling you. Because in the 60s, some of you guys were not even born. Guys who are in their 50s now. You see? So you know, you just come. I mean, are they educated people say to me, Mina APC forever. Mina SLPP forever. I born SLPP, I born APC, I go die SLPP. That's foolish talk. Because, first of all, why you say that? Some man go tell you, say, my papa na be APC. Well, yes, I tell you, papa na be APC because you don't get the education where you get, you don't get the exposure where you get, you don't travel, you don't see things. Where in we get limited environment. So I can understand that. But for you, where don't come, you don't get degree, you don't live in countries like them wire. You for be more analytical, you know, and more circumspect, we will say, in you support for a political party where you know, say, there is no excuse. When you get a leader who came to power, and you see, the thing is, we get record, we get good history. President Momo Kam, yeah, he was a soldier, he became a civilian government leader. Well, nobody now accused and say he was corrupt. Another say he was incorrupt 100%, but that was not the hallmark of his presidency. Nobody now say he end up becoming a millionaire. Nobody now say he be give government contract then to him brother and sister and anything in there. Maybe he give a few friends, but not to the kind of thing we go affect country. Okay? He was APC. All right? Now, it's a far cry for say, because me always give me an analysis of them. What wealth, getting gentry was not in priority. Let me point now one day. Yeah, it was APC. President Kaba, nobody, they associate him with corruption. He was SLPP. So the party, not to make the people. Now the person in your character, now for look for. When you begin to vote for people on a party label, you are making a dangerous decision. It's my point. You see? We get plenty of history. We can go back and check and see and try to avoid certain situations what we find ourselves into now. Now, there's one other topic we want to talk about where hopefully we'll get a little bit of time. Now, the increase in even, I go ask the control room for play a video for we. The increase in internet fee at the country. But before the control room plan, just for give some people more opportunity for call and ask question, make I answer this question, make I answer one more question, or we'll take one more call, then I go one for that will play this internet fee rise. Okay? Hello caller, what's your name side to call from?
Yeah, this now Mustafa they come from France.
Hey, Mustafa, how are you?
Yeah, let God bless you, Pa, for this good work way they do. They try. But
thank you very much.
The country, we need to learn. The only thing we just now reverse gear now we get. We never even think for go before. Because imagine waiting the happen in our country presently. Imagine. Since when we get sense. I don't know for the one the way courts can don't indict them, where they can sentence them to death or down and they can no say. When they kill them, government they bury them. But on demonstration, government kill people and go bury them. Don't would they imagine say then get their family then get people and so will be depend on them. Then get the one that will born them. Not to think this way the whitewash. Now more petrol would they add na the fire. From where these presidents don't kind of power. The only thing we me know for them now from one bad thing to another. Because the good way they do, it not even complete 2%. The bad 9% mark. Because any one Sierra Leonean life will go important. And this government not ever address them from where they can power, from the one where they begin kill people in 91. Say them begin kill, they not ever address, they never bring nobody to justice. Then they make with the hate itself more and more. Then they make people and they get bitterness in their mind. But one thing and they fail for realize, the time where you there now your comfort zone, now you they prepare for the day where things go turn. Sometimes some of them feel say they go run away. But any side way they go meet up some of free by God in power. And people then go there, we go one stand for them country. Because no matter what thing they happen, nobody not they glad for let somebody in life loss. Don't these governments they need to address anything. APC, SLPP are the same thing. But for more we begin get democracy now the worstest one this world will ever get. Now then they feel okay. People who they support SLPP, they feel okay. They're not able to check say this world they do so bad thing go affect you tomorrow. And the one the way they in the end of affairs, where you see them say game done just now. The only fair way for one away. Don't the left una will be the dance for them, una will be the make mud for them. Tomorrow, now una the left na the fire. The government come, they say they count the fight corruption. But would they see everything where Africans press the pull? Would they see them? Beside that day, this government only think for themselves. Anyway, time don't beat me. Let God bless you now, and let God bless you for the wonderful work we do. Make give chance to the other people.
Thank you very much, Mustafa. I appreciate you calling. You know, because sometimes when people in call and express themselves about the at least it takes some pressure off of you because you get a medium where you go call and say something, you know? And so we're always very, very grateful when people in call for express themselves. So we not get that much time left, so I could try to go through some calls and make me your analysis as soon as possible. Make I take another call. Hello, caller. What's your name and where you call from?
Yes, Mr. Shilon. Mr. Peter again.
Okay, sir.
I just want for like a coming small bit. We emphasize on the integrity of the person. We want for lead with. And one thing I want for draw your attention to that country there. We leaders in the make statements and way they affect the masses, the one that weighed it down. Imagine a leader being an opposition or the rule, and they make statement like I will make the country ungovernable for you. I never see them now the whole the world. The whole world I never hear them. What do you expect the rule for do? Now for suppress the masses because they can say the masses they in opposition and then they fight against the government. Me a critical thinker. I stand for be corrected. I think this way and this way. I'm not a party. I don't get party lens in Namiyai. I think critically for the layman down there. If somebody don't make that statement, when the big one they get for suppress the people then. Now one big thing with it and with that country, they talk too much more than what they do. Some statement they make them because it dent you back. It dent you not only you, but it dent Innocent people we no concern. It's normal for let people get demonstration with or without police clearance. We don't see another country there. But some utterances where they make, some utterances where they make them they look and say this not threat. This not threat. You know, we not did it. Like me, I would say me I not did it. Me people are not they come out for go demonstrate. But when you look at the people that are vulnerable, we sometimes don't take in one sling, you don't take in kush, you know you left traffic in for come out na do, for go workshop and get what they eat. Then people are vulnerable. They can change them people and they for be somebody better in the world. But some of them utterances they make them, it spoil them. It spoil them. We have to very be careful and look about think about the other way around. Say all of the one that they come out na terrorists. It dent you. It dent you. You know, but it dent you. Some utterances and they make, we have to be very careful. This is a democratic world and we all stand for get equal right. But people are not good for you. And just like I say, I stand by that point to say, it come up from where they oversee, where they go down. All the people where they rule we right now in Salone, almost people in the now they don't live in Salone 10, 15 years. None. All of them don't come out oversee, go down, get power, enrich themselves, endanger the masses their life, endanger the youth their life. What thing they happen about that youth village? Nothing. Where they create, what thing they happen? Almost people then get woke. Nothing. Nothing. It trending, it pathetic. Then me, I see myself at the commode now for people that one they are gonna treat the demonstrate for them. I not go do them. I not go do them. Me, I not go do them. It's trending. I feel for God and sister them because some of them not deserve for die that way. Honestly. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. I want to make we play a short video of this current rise in internet fee in Australia. Please, and they say that in at the instigation of the government itself, not to the people who get the companies, now the government, they ask the people in for raise the fee on people in a salon. So I want to ask the control room for please make that for me. Play that.
So apparently, there is a buzz about the increase in tariff for data, and NATCOM are the ones that publicized or brought out a notice that the telecommunication companies should enforce this floor price of data, meaning 1 megabyte is 18 old leones, and 1 gigabyte, because 1000 megabytes equals to 1 gigabyte, is going to be 18,000 leones. Now, mind you, this is a country where 4 cups of rice is 16,000 leones. Now, the reason why I'm bothered about this is that the cost that is borne to bring out the services to us is being borne by the telecommunication companies. After whatever, the wireless thing that we don't see, the bandwidth or whatever that they disseminate this data to us, those costs are being borne by the telecommunications company. But why is it that the regulators, I just went to their websites now, and one of their core functions is to make sure they protect the consumers from any, bad thing or advantages that this company may want to take on us? That is their job. Why is it that that person that is meant to protect me is the one that is telling them that I think the price they are paying for this data is too small, please increase it? Come on, man. This internet now they give you small joy in this tongue, small joy. You go TikTok, you laugh. You come on, you go Instagram, you look what you get for look. You go na YouTube, you watch film. You go Netflix, you watch film. Come on, this small happiness that you see that we have, you just increase fear. come on, man. Because again, if you say this one is you level it on the Finance Act, law is law. I get it, but some laws defeat themselves. Because let's say an increase in the revenues of telecommunications will bring more tax revenues for government, and government will have money to spend. Government will tell you that this money that we are spending is to bring you welfare. How can you bring me welfare when you're taking away welfare for me? You are making me sad. So it is just a vicious circle. So we are appealing to you. We know that you want to bring us welfare, but internet just left farm. We can work. If I work as if I go some side, if I get no more my phone no more, I don't say what acting up some side, I cool down, I they watch that me internet and they laugh. It is better. But please, I will beg you in the name of God. This one time, leave this internet thing alone. Leave it alone. It is not broken. Don't fix it. It is not broken. Don't fix it, for goodness sakes.
All right. Yeah, it's this is one of the things I can talk about when I talk about government. I talk about how easy for run government, because people away government need very, very good policymakers. And in America, as it is in European countries, Canada and everywhere, they get people that really go to college and learn public policy and get degree in public policy. We not seem for the put rights people. All we want then say you get PhD in physics, oh, make a minister. Get PhD in chemistry, oh, make a minister. Get PhD in or some kind of thing that we Minister Senge gets, oh, make a minister of education. There are areas, there are things what you call education administration. You can get degree in them field. You can get degree in education policies. If you now want to implement good policy, now people they not only will get a degree in them field, but will get practical experience in them field. Not to the degree normal, now the thing. You want people that with their degrees backed by practical experience in the field where you want them to govern. But watching this woman, they say so, not common sense. May not know what's in her educational background, but she comes across as a very intelligent woman who understands basic economics and economic policy. Okay? So, number one, who can understand? Because me cannot understand why government of all people, of all entity, go be the one for tell private companies and for raise prices. When this government know people are very financially burdened, so why would it be the government for even come up with an idea like that? When if a company talk about raising price, if I say, no, we don't want for you none of that, because the people are on needs pin and needles. If you talk about price rise in anything, people don't like for you to read that. Instead, I want the government promote that. What that tells me, either they don't understand the essence of government, than one. They don't understand the dynamics in running government. And then some people will point out some ulterior motive, which I think is very short-sighted of the government, which is always what I criticize them about. Then lack of accepting intellectual challenge. When you get a degree on the wall, you will be able to tackle problems intellectually with your mind, not to through violence, but for shortcut the system by coming up with counterproductive policies. So what you mean to say, some people then say, oh, the government, they try for limits people and we get access for people their ability, as a matter of fact, from access to phones. But when them phone and they use for communicate with them and for demonstrate. Well, that is not only short-sighted, it's a stupid policy. Yes, stupid. That are the kind of policy we go expect a group of class 2 or class 3 picking them for Sidom. If you just want to see the level of intelligence, you ask them, say, you give them a fact pattern and you say, what you would think, And that kind of a talk if we expect from standard 3, standard 4, standard 5 picking them. Now the people that will live abroad, where sit and go good schools, and for add insult to injury, then sit and get doctorate degrees or master's degree. It's very disappointing. And if we keep this trend, you know, I feel nothing but compassion for the country, which some of we dearly love, which some of we not believe for exploit undeservingly, where some of we know say get the potential to be a better place and a better country, where some of we believe say we can uplift the standard of our people to such an extent and it could be the envy of the region. The ability there, get the mineral resources, you know, we'll get at one point the educational resources. Now we not forget Sierra Leone be the country where be the same educated civil servants them to Nigeria, to Ghana, to Gambia, to Botswana, to Kenya. Now we be the same educated people and for help them people for come along. This Sierra Leone where we all Ubukman and all flip upside down. Maybe we for begin teach more civic lessons or history, na school, na the colleges. Make we know how far behind we don't go. We will be the leader intellectually. Okay? So me on points now simply is what this woman talks so it makes so much sense. This everybody gets cell phone. So now we all living within America. If you go walk, you go some side, you forget your cell phone. I don't care how late you be. You do turn around for come home, can't take them. If you left at your office, I don't care how late, how much you want arrival side to go on time. You cannot afford for left that phone. There's part and parcel of life now. And both mental, psyche, you know, now part of mental wellness. Forget with phone. And this woman, they say, you know, with all the hardship, with all the poverty, with all the high prices, now the only thing this way to keep we from not going crazy. We all will consider we telephone almost as we partner what we not go separate from. So why would I want to take that away from we? Why would I want to raise the price? Why would I want unjustly enrich companies? Then when they say if you say a raise in the fee for internet is justified. But again, it shows you, and then this all one points at the camp, the opposition is being irresponsible. Well, I don't blame them too much. Because there's another aspect to the same rise where the airports begin for charge people them $25 arriving fee, $25 exiting fee or departing fee. Okay? And then say na airport tax. Now we see at the very least, for once, out of very few moments, opposition member Cherno Majuba raised that in Congress or in Parliament and bring to the attention of the Speaker that that was in violation of the laws of the country because that fee they wouldn't raise now the airports that I believe is being run by a private company to whom they contracted that responsibility there. Chairman Majuba say it's in violation of the law. They don't get the power or the right for do that. Because of tax. Now only Parliament can raise, increase or decrease taxes. Okay? So now the Speaker apparently say he agree, made them do the investigation and summon the respective departments them will control aviation. Okay? We need to see more activism on the part of the opposition, like what in Chairman Baduso. So the same thing if we raise, and then same question if we raise, but the internet fee. Things the way unjustly, they impact the lives of the people. You know, you can't kick a man when he's down. This is what government do. They are kicking the people when they are down instead of giving them an opportunity for grab and worker. When you begin for tell for companies and for them for raise data fee for the thing where they make them feel happy from going crazy one of them telephone, instead of making it more affordable, would they try for make them prohibitive. Then they cannot afford them. That is sad. We shouldn't do that. Now I don't want to go off the air without bringing. We have been running these statistics, but somehow I tend to have overlooked it. But we will do a statistics, as I always say, we will do a polling each time that we show about certain current issues in Sierra Leone. And this time we will try to do a statistics with respect to, we will do a polling with respect to whether the government's then policy for do that burial of the people who will then be killed by the August 10th incident, whether a good policy by the government or a bad policy. And like I say earlier at the opening of the show, I'd say all with the ask now for people and for say yes and so no and no. Majority of the people say it's bad policy. 98% so far. Only 2% of the people them call in and say government and decision for the way and manner in which they bury some of the victims, because some of the victims and family agree, but there are some who wanted the body of them people. And somebody will be called earlier, Miss Zainab, I believe, she raised the issue that because of the poor sanitary condition of the morgue, Nakonot Hospital, that most of them body then they may have even been the condition would not deteriorate by the time we then go bury them. Because Connaught Hospital is renowned for maintaining a poorly kept mortuary. And that's another thing. A mortuary, government they get difficulty for keeping up to standard or up to international standard. So this woman thinks, and again, it might have been wise if them body then condition that deteriorates. Maybe for the family they young good, maybe it was not as bad as they may think not to have given them or hand over the body of them people. If the condition of the body then may not deteriorate. But government then do what they want to say. But I am for acknowledge Ms. Zainab in talk in the past, when you call earlier. But 98% of the people we call in or who respond to the question we pose to them, then say na bad policy. Okay? And only 2% say na good policy. So roughly speaking, if we want to go by at least 8 out of every 10 people, if you talk to 10 people who ask them a good policy, 8 people then say, no, it was a bad policy, it was terrible. Governor of Fodua. So now only 2 out of 10 say, I don't get no problem with that. So we just want to announce the result of the polling day or survey day, what we do. Okay? There are many other issues we wanted to touch on, but unfortunately, we'll get limited time. We're always going to try for make sure, we end on time. But sometimes it's hard to do. But we don't reach the end of this broadcast, this show. We thank you very much for participating, for listening, for calling in, for contributing ideas. And we hope we all go be around next week and beyond for talk about issues and matters affecting Sierra Leone. So until then, good night, good morning, good afternoon, depending on what part of the world you are. Thanks for tuning in.